Welcome back, football fanatics. Today we're diving deep into the story of a rising star who's already making waves in one of the toughest leagues in the world. He's a towering center back with the composure of a veteran, the flair of a playmaker, and a journey that spans two countries and some of football's biggest clubs. His name? Dean Donnie Huijsen Weissmuller, or just Dean Huijsen to most of us. At just 19, he's gone from the sunny streets of Marbella to the bright lights of the Premier League with AFC Bournemouth, and now he's stepped onto the international stage with Spain. So grab a seat, because we're about to unpack the incredible rise of this Dutch-Spanish sensation. Let's kick it off. Dean Huijsen was born on April 14th, 2005, in Amsterdam, Netherlands, a city famous for its canals, culture, and of course, football. His parents, Donnie Huijsen and Masha Weissmuller, are both Dutch, and his dad's no stranger to the game. Donnie Huijsen was a striker back in the day, playing for Ajax's youth teams and earning the nickname Maradoni for his flair at clubs like Haarlem, where he banged in 22 goals in 33 games. Football was in Dean's blood from the start, but his story didn't stay in the Netherlands for long. When Dean was 5, his family made a life-changing move to Marbella, Spain, a sun-soaked paradise on the Costa del Sol. Why the move? Well, details are fuzzy, but it's clear Donnie and Masha wanted a fresh start for their young family. For little Dean, it was the perfect playground to fall in love with football. Picture this: a kid with Dutch roots kicking a ball around the dusty pitches of southern Spain, soaking up the street football vibe that's produced legends like Sergio Ramos and Isco. That mix of cultures, Dutch discipline and Spanish flair, would shape him into the player he is today. Dean's football journey started at Costa Unida CF, a small club in Marbella. He was only 5, but even then he stood out, tall for his age, strong, and with a natural feel for the game. By 2015, at age 10, he'd caught the eye of Malaga CF, a club with a proud history of nurturing talent. Joining their academy was a big step up, and Dean thrived. He trained with kids older than him, showing off a knack for defending and an unexpected eye for goal. By 15, he was even training with Malaga's first team, a teenager holding his own against pros. Word started to spread. This kid was special. Then, in the summer of 2021, the big guns came calling. Real Madrid, one of the giants of world football, were in the mix, but Juventus, the Italian powerhouse, won the race. At 16, Dean signed a 3-year deal with the old lady, moving to Turin to join their famed youth setup. It was a bold move, leaving Spain, his home since he was 5, for a new country and a new challenge. But Dean saw it as a chance to grow. "I thought I could learn more at Juventus than at Malaga," he later said. That ambition? It's what drives him. In his first season with Juventus, Dean tore up the under-17s. He played 20 games and scored 8 goals. Insane numbers for a center back. Towering at 6 feet 5 inches even then, he was a beast in the air, winning headers and bullying strikers. But he also had this silky touch you don't expect from a defender. The next season, 2022 to 23, he stepped up to the under-19s. From August to November 2022, he scored 6 goals in 14 matches across all competitions, including 3 in the UEFA Youth League. Scouts were buzzing. Here was a defender who could score like a striker. January 8th, 2023 was a huge day. Dean made his professional debut for Juventus Next Gen, the club's reserve team in Serie C. They lost 2-1 to Pordenone, and he got a yellow card in the 7th minute. Welcome to senior football. He nearly scored with a header, but it was ruled offside. Still, at 17, he'd arrived. A month later, on February 15th, he showed what he could do. In the Coppa Italia Serie C semi-final against Foggia, Dean scored twice, a towering header and a cool finish, to force penalties. He slotted his spot kick, and Juventus Next Gen won the shootout. On April 2nd, he tapped in his first Serie C goal against Ferral Pizzolo. By June 2023, he'd racked up 40 appearances and 10 goals across the U19s and Next Gen. Juventus rewarded him with a contract until 2027. The kid was on fire. Then came the big leap. October 22nd, 2023, Dean's Serie A debut. Juventus are at the San Siro facing AC Milan, and in the 78th minute, he subs on for Federico Gotti. The score's 1-0, thanks to Manuel Locatelli, and Dean holds firm as Juventus see it out. At 18, he's playing against one of Italy's biggest clubs. Talk about a statement. On November 7, Juventus promote him to the first team alongside teammate Kenan Yildiz. But minutes are hard to come by. Juventus have a stacked squad, so in January 2024, he's loaned to AS Roma. Roma's a perfect fit. Jose Mourinho, the special one himself, calls Dean one of the biggest talents in European football. He debuts on January 7th, 2024, coming on at halftime against Atalanta in a 1-1 draw. 3 days later, he starts in the Coppa Italia against Lazio, the Derby della Capitale. It's a baptism of fire. He gives away a penalty. Lazio score, and Roma lose 1-0. Tough lesson, but Dean bounces back. On February 5th, he scores his first Serie A goal, sealing a 4-0 romp over Cagliari. Then on February 18th, he stuns Frosinone, the team he'd turned down to join Roma. He picks up the ball in defense, drives past players, and smashes it home from outside the box. The crowd boos him all game, and he celebrates right in their faces. Yellow card, subbed at halftime, but what a moment. At 18, he's got swagger. Let's talk style, because Dean Huijsen isn't your average center back. At 6 feet 5 inches, he's a giant, dominant in the air, winning duels like it's nothing. But he's not just a wall. He's got this Malaga street football flair, smooth on the ball, confident with both feet, and a passing range that's downright filthy. He'll ping a 40-yard diagonal or dribble out of trouble like a midfielder. Analysts compare him to Virgil van Dijk for his physicality and Gerard Piqué for his ball-playing chops. In Italy, they called him a modern defender, someone who defends and builds attacks. His stats back it up: high pass accuracy, tons of aerial wins, and those sneaky goals from set pieces. But he's not perfect. That Frosinone celebration, it showed a fiery side. He's got passion, maybe too much sometimes. Defensively, he's still learning. Positioning, discipline, the little things that come with experience. Roma boss Daniele De Rossi once subbed him early to cool him off, a sign he's still raw. Yet that's what makes him exciting. He's 19, and the potential's through the roof. Summer 2024, Dean's world shifts again. Juventus want to cash in, and after rejecting Paris Saint-Germain, Bayern Munich, and Newcastle, he signs with AFC Bournemouth on July 30th for 15.2 million euros, potentially rising to 18.2 million euros. A 6-year deal in the Premier League at 19, massive. Bournemouth under Andoni Iraola are a team on the up, and Dean fits their style: aggressive, ball-playing football. He debuts on August 28th against Nottingham Forest, a 1-1 draw, and settles in fast. Then, December 5th, 2024, a night to remember. Bournemouth hosts Tottenham Hotspur, and in the 17th minute, Dean rises highest to head home a corner, 1-0. The Vitality Stadium erupts, and at 19 years and 235 days, he's Bournemouth's youngest ever Premier League scorer. That wins a statement. Spurs are top 4 hopefuls, and Dean's the match winner. By March 24th, 2025, he's a regular starter, playing 20 league games with that Tottenham goal, his lone strike so far. But his impact's bigger than stats. He's calm, composed, and growing into a leader. Off the pitch, he's been nominated twice for Premier League Player of the Month around the new year. Insane for a teenager. Real Madrid rumors are swirling again too. Spain's my home, he said, hinting at a La Liga return someday. For now, though, he's thriving in England, speaking 4 languages: Dutch, Spanish, English, Italian, and winning fans with his chill vibe. Internationally, Dean's story is just as wild. Born in the Netherlands, raised in Spain, he's got dual roots. He played for the Dutch youth teams, under 16s, under 17s, under 18s, and starred at the 2022 UEFA Under 17 Euros in Israel. He scored penalties against France and Poland, then nailed one in a semi-final shootout against Serbia. The Netherlands lost the final to France, but Dean was a standout. In 2022, he said he wanted to play for the Dutch senior team, his dad's legacy calling. But then, a twist. In February 2024, he gets Spanish citizenship. Makes sense, he grew up there. A month later, on March 21st, he debuts for Spain's under-21s in a 2-0 loss to Slovakia. Why the switch? I feel Spanish, he said. Spain's my house. With Spain's senior team looming, he could face the Netherlands soon. Talk about drama. Imagine Donnie and Masha watching their son play against their homeland. Football's full of these crazy storylines. Now, let's talk about the moment that's got everyone buzzing. Dean's debut with the Spanish senior national team. March 20th, 2025. Just 4 days ago. Spain are in Rotterdam, facing the Netherlands in the first leg of the UEFA Nations League quarterfinals. It's a huge game, and in the 40th minute, Barcelona's Pau Cubarsí goes down injured. Enter Dean Huijsen, 19 years old, stepping onto the pitch at De Kuip for his first senior cap. And here's the kicker. He's facing the country of his birth, the Netherlands, in front of a crowd that boos him every time he touches the ball. Talk about a Hollywood script. Dean doesn't flinch. He comes on with the score at 1-1, and over the next 50 minutes, he's a rock. He wins 100% of his ground duels, nails every tackle, and completes 90% of his passes, 12 of them into the final third. He makes 2 clearances, creates a chance, and shows off that ball-playing swagger with line-breaking passes. The game ends 2-2, setting up a wild second leg in Valencia. But Dean's the story. Spain's manager, Luis de la Fuente, calls him a great piece of news for Spanish football. He looks like he's been at the elite level for years. De la Fuente says, for a kid who's just turned 19, that's massive praise. The Dutch fans? They let him have it. Boos, jeers, the works. I was expecting it, Dean told Spanish media after. I just focused on my game. It's part of football. Social media lit up too. Some Dutch fans called it a betrayal. Others admired his guts. Born in Amsterdam, raised in Malaga, he'd captained the Netherlands at under-19 level as recently as 2024. But when Spain came calling, he chose the country he calls home. Making my debut against the Netherlands felt meant to be, he said. And get this, his dad, Donnie, played his first senior game at De Kuip 2 years ago. Destiny, right? This debu's a game changer. At 19, Dean's now in the mix for Spain's senior squad, European champs, Nations League holders, and he's showing he belongs. Alongside young stars like Lamine Yamal and Pedri, he could be part of La Roja's next golden era. The second leg's tonight, March 24th, 2025, and if he plays, expect more fireworks. His family's over the moon, Donnie and Masha, watching their boy live out their dreams, just not in orange. So, what's Dean Huijsen all about? He's a kid with a unique journey. Amsterdam to Marbella, Malaga to Juventus, Rome to Bournemouth, and now Spain's senior team. His dad's footballing genes gave him a start, but his work ethic and talent took him the rest of the way. At 19, he's already played in Serie A, scored in the Premier League, swapped nations, and debuted against his birth country. His family's been there every step, Donnie, a proud ex-pro, and Masha, keeping him grounded. They didn't spoil him, but they celebrated him. Birthdays with football cakes, Malaga matches on TV, the works. Let's zoom in on that Premier League moment again. December 5th, 2024. Tottenham's defense can't handle it. The corner swings in, Dean leaps, and boom, header, goal, history. Bournemouth fans chant his name, and somewhere in Marbella or Amsterdam, Donnie's grinning ear to ear. That's the dream, right? A kid from 2 worlds, making it big. And he's not done. This season, he's averaging over 80% pass completion, winning duels, and showing why Bournemouth bet on him. Iraola's system, high-pressing, quick transitions, suits him perfectly. He gives us freedom to play, Dean said about his boss. But it's not all rosy. Juventus pushed him out in 2024. He's admitted it stung. I came back from vacation and they said I had to go, he told Marca. That's football. Harsh, cutthroat. Roma gave him a stage, but Bournemouth's where he's proving doubters wrong. Critics say he needs to bulk up, refine his positioning. Fair points. He's young, still learning. Yet every game, he's adding layers. More aggression, smarter reads, better decisions. That Spain debut? It's proof he's ready for the big time. Where's he headed? That's the million-dollar question. Or 42 million euros. If you trust Transfermarkt's valuation today. If he keeps this up, stays fit, sharpens his game, he could be a top 5 center back in the world. Imagine him at Real Madrid, replacing the aging Antonio Rudiger, or back at Juventus, captaining the side that let him go. For Spain, he's a future rock alongside Pau Cubarsí, maybe even at the 2026 World Cup. His ceiling's nuts. He's got Van Dijk's frame, Piqué's passing, and a scoring touch that's rare for his position. 10 goals at Juventus youth levels, 2 at Roma, 1 at Bournemouth. He's a threat going forward. If he adds consistency and cuts out the odd laps, we're talking Ballon d'Or chatter down the line. But there's risk too. Injuries, a wrong move, or plateauing could stall him. Football's brutal. Just ask his dad, whose career had its own ups and downs. For now, Dean's living the dream. I want to keep improving, he said. That hunger's key. He's not coasting on hype. Bournemouth's a perfect spot, a growing club, a coach who trusts him, and a league that tests him every week. He's still a Malaga fan at heart, watches their games when he can, and you can feel that Spanish soul in his play. The street smarts, the swagger, it's all there. That debut against the Netherlands, it's just the start. Dean Huijsen's story is about roots and wings, Dutch heritage, Spanish soul, and a global stage. From Costa Unida's dusty pitches to the Premier League's spotlight, he's climbed fast. At 19, he's got a Serie A debut, a loan stint with Mourinho, a history-making goal against Spurs, and now a senior cap for Spain. His parents, Donnie and Masha, gave him the foundation. love, discipline, and a footballing legacy. Now he's writing his own chapter. So, what's your take? Is Dean the next defensive titan? Will he stay at Bournemouth, return to Spain, or conquer Europe elsewhere? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button, and subscribe for more deep dives into football's brightest stars. Thanks for watching. Until next time, keep loving the beautiful game.